Good afternoon. It is Wednesday, April 11th, I think, 2023. I am Lou Hawkins and I'm at Meraki Farmacy headquarters here to just reintroduce me, my work, the pharmacy, where we're at, what's going on. Meraki started in 2015 and some things have changed and some things haven't. Some tried and true homies, the community, the core is still there, and also looking to really connect and expand into families and communities and geographical regions and all those things. So here to share some things about my work, my service. It is unique, and also introduce you to the land and just share some things with you. So thank you as always for sharing time with me, for subscribing to the newsletter, to the YouTube, adding Meraki Farmacy to your favorites on Instagram, liking and following the page on Facebook. All of these things are incredibly helpful and don't require a whole lot of effort, and is very much appreciated. And we'll talk about other ways that you can support Meraki Farmacy, of course. So my name is Lou Hawkins, and Meraki is a Greek word that means the love, creativity, passion, soul one puts into their work. Pharmacy, spelled with an F, pharmacy. And you can read all about the ethos and some things about, why it's named what it's named. Started in 2015 on Abenaki lands, southeastern Vermont. I lived in Guilford. Yo, what's up, Brattleboro and beyond? I miss you. I love you. That's where Meraki Farmacy started, technically. I started growing food crops and using regenerative, sustainable, smart, nature-taught methods, things like intercropping and succession planting and rotation. So growing a lot of food primarily, that was always my lifelong goal, right? My lifelong vision took not a straight path to here, but everything I've ever done and not done has led to this. I knew from a very early age the kind of life that I needed and that I wanted, and that had what I needed and I wanted, and that I could give a lot to, is living in close relationship with land, seasonality, natural processes more than human kin. Another long-standing dream vision, decreasing the suck and increasing the rad. Meraki Farmacy is born from the desire to work with plants, learn with plants, grow as much of my own food and herbs and all of that as possible. And in the course of one season of doing that full time and learning directly with plants and being amongst a lot of flowers and herbs, very, very quickly into folk medicine. I started making soaps, deodorant, and teeth paste, because those are the things that we use every single day. And when you look at processes of production and ingredients in production, someone has to decide that a certain level of parts per million or billion is an acceptable amount of disease-causing, body-disrupting, yuck stuff. And I don't think that's acceptable. And so I wanted to make things that people can use every single day to reduce their risk of harm from disease, basically. And I started with the essentials, and it's grown and evolved and blossomed, again, because of this lifelong desire to decrease the suck and increase the rad, to reduce harm, to reduce risk of harm, and increase access, and increase more of a lived experience of safety, of health, of vitality, of joy, but at least more safety. And there's a lot of people doing amazing things, and I like to tell the story of how Meraki Farmacy happened, and why it continues, because yes, nature is beautiful, yes, provides literally everything: food, shelter, clothing, everything, medicine, everything. And that's very beautiful. And yes, working outside and living in the middle of the woods on the side of a mountain, yes, is very beautiful. It's also a lot of hard work. It requires, a certain level of skill or willingness to learn the skill, and yay, and let's be happy and free. And also all of this is deeply informed by like quite a lot of messed up stuff. Just from like the stuff that's in the things that we rub on our skin and we put on our babies and we put on our boo-boos, to, nutrient degradation in food because of big chemical ag, and then the effects on local community, small farms, seed sovereignty, all of these things. Hey Lou, why you gotta bring like politics and socioeconomics into plants? Because it's inseparable. Because all of these things touch each other at various different intersections. I do this because this is like the best outlet for my rage, my frustration, my big desire to protect people, to help them, to mutually empower. Hey, I have this skill. Hey, you have that need. Hey, you have that skill. Hey, I have that need. Taking care of each other without permission or legislation or some external authority has been a major tenet of my life from a very young age. It's a lot of things. Yes, it's lovely. And yes, also this is in protest, right? There are certain things that are non-negotiable, and we spend a tremendous amount of time negotiating things that we shouldn't. And so community care, safe products, handcrafted, shorter supply chains, all of that. And also, we all experience some level of harm from various different aspects of like bigger systems. And so I don't see how expecting relief or protection or care or nurturance or respect from within the same system that is causing so much harm, to me, that I just can't calculate it, and it's not something that I've ever experienced. So I'm on the, we're gonna do it for ourselves. And yes, we do a lot for ourselves in community, right? When I know how to do XYZ, or I take on the responsibility of restoring land, or I take on the responsibility of healing my own shit, right? That benefits my community in indirect and direct ways. So yes, self-sufficiency, yes, DIY, yes, all that, anti-establishment, like all of that. And also it's so deeply rooted in connecting with others and in doing it in conjunction with community. Talk about this a lot at Meraki Farmacy, doing tea times, which I think are fading out because of some social media. It's just like not worth it. And so just finding the different avenues and the ways to do that. Yes, online, because this community is literally all over North America, which is really neat and incredible. And also, so let me introduce where we are. So Meraki Farmacy started in Vermont, where I was living, from 2015 to 2020. And the land that that held me, that made Meraki Farmacy, I had to leave it, and that was very hard and kind of, inherently kind of disrupted a desired flow and growth and evolution of Meraki. Since conception in 2015, I use the plants that I grow. So every plant has some benefit, not just for us, for the soil, for other plants, for bugs and critters and birds, right? Because it's all an ecosystem, and it's not a linear food chain. It's deeply interconnected and therefore interdependent. And this is one of the things that we learn in a bunch of different ways, being in relationship with land and more than human kin, that we bring into our human relationships, which is incredibly impactful positively, and echoes what we innately know, right, of our true nature and of these other possible ways of being human and of living and loving and sharing and also trading and making money, and all those things can coexist in ways that aren't as harmful as the offered status quo, right? So I use the plants that are in my bioregion, that grow around me. They teach me directly. Every plant has benefit, but I don't bring in plants from like other practices or other regions. You know, like I love cardamom. I don't offer that in the things that I make because it is not a plant that I directly connect with. So I start plants at seed, annuals and perennials. Some of the plants, main plant teachers: Achillea millefolium, yarrow, Leonaris cardiaca, motherwort, comfrey, dandelion, nettle, hyssop, blue vervain, skullcap, violets, oh my gosh, oats, poppy, lemon balm. Did I say comfrey? Burdock. I'm trying to just list things that I offer directly. Chamomile, I'm sure, mugwort. I'm like looking around. I'm like, where are my plant friends? They're not growing yet. They're still sleeping. It's April. But clovers. So a lot of plants that I'm actually sitting. Can you see the yarrow? Witch hazel, hawthorn, rose, damiana, gotu-kola. There's probably maybe 30 plants. I feel like there's actually more than that, but about 30 that I regularly work with. And so growing them from seed, I spend their entire lives with them. So that could be within a year or a couple of years, especially with the perennials, right? Yeah, it takes a couple of years to establish, which is a lot of what we're doing this year, 2023. We moved here summer solstice. We are on Chinkla Camoose land, which is north central Pennsylvania, along a former trade route. It cuts across Pennsylvania. It like pretty much runs parallel with 80. And so Lenni Lenape and I believe Shawnee people of the Eastern Woodlands and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So we've been here since June. I'll tell you about the history of the land in just a minute. I mentioned that, so I grow the plants from seed. I'm with them through their whole life cycle, and then I preserve them in various ways, basically making infusions, water, tea, oil for massage balms and massage oils, and also soaps. Meraki Farmacy started with making soaps, and not just handcrafted yum 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 soaps, and lots of people do it, and their artistry is amazing and it's very cool, and they use a lot of essential oils and neat flavors and combos, and that's wonderful. Meraki Farmacy soaps start at seed. They are deeply medicinal. They are infused with plants grown here at the lye solution point, which is after I've infused an oil for at least 4 weeks. 4 to 6 weeks is usually, I try to time it with lunar cycles, but of course when the plants are ready to be preserved, that's when I make the thing. So there's high seasonality. It could take anywhere from 3 to 12 months for this self-care, this plant-powered tool of care for you, which is very important to me. And other people do things other ways, and that's totally fine. This is how I choose to do it. Yes, I could outsource a lot of things. I don't outsource anything. I purchase alcohol for tinctures and olive oils, coconut oils, cocoa butters, beeswax, and lye. And I purchase glass and compostable containers. And everything else is here. I grow the plants, preserve them, dispense them, label them, package them, formulate the recipes, make, cure, dry, store, advertise, sell. And I hope that I can continue to do this in a way that is sustained by my community. This is not an official nonprofit, but it essentially is. And that's a whole other chit chat, but many ways that you can support Meraki Pharmacy. One of the ways is going to merakifarmacy.com. You can sign up for a newsletter. You can subscribe to all the different channels and the things. When you make purchases, you then get an email notice to post a review. Those are incredibly helpful for me and incredibly helpful for other people. If you miss that email window, my emails, my phone, my DMs, all the ways to contact me are always open. I don't bring a sense of urgency. I really bring a slow pace to things because I need to, and that's what the plants tell me to do. For most of the time, it's a practice because I run hot and I like to move fast. But I find a slower approach is much better. And you guys don't ask for urgency anyway. But anyway, if you missed the window to post a review, you can send me any and all feedback at any time, any and all questions at any time, in any of the ways, preferably email. And that's all super, very, very, very helpful. If you watch the videos and you get something out of it, comment, engage, share it with your people. Who are our people? Parents, a lot of parents, teachers, athletes, artists, veterans, scholars, students, young people, babies. Do you know how many kids use Boo Boo Balm? It is the best. Women who are pregnant, women who are preparing for pregnancy, people who are preparing for pregnancy, postpartum, people who menstruate, people who don't menstruate, people with hearts. A nervous system is a big focus. A big niche and focus is nervous system supports, particularly in the relaxing action. And there's tons of videos about those things. Always happy to talk about that because, again, Meraki Farmacy has been, continues to be informed by the harm reduction philosophies and actions, right? Reducing harm for people people who are experiencing the harm are probably the most well-informed on what they need and deserve the agency and access to the resources to address the problem. We know that post-traumatic stress disorder, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, and all of the variations of what that is for a human being is the global health pandemic. For sure, this is something that is very important to me, to help people access tools of care that really decrease suffering and increase capacity without numbing, without self-medicating, without invalidating, without thinking that something is wrong with you or that you're broken, because these are absolutely 1000% completely normal responses to abnormal shit. I feel very strongly about helping you if that is part of your experience. Also, a lot of preventative care, right? So when we use deodorants, soaps, massage salves and balms and all those things, shampoos, especially they're biodegradable, they're in zero waste or compostable tubes. So, your carbon footprint we're working together to decrease that. Increasing the habits and skills and that sense of connection and the sense of agency and choice is everything. And so whenever, every time, everywhere we experience choice when it comes to our healthcare, our recovery, the quality of our life, that's also incredibly important. The process of that in and of itself is medicine. It is preventative care. It is responsive care. So yes, you get these tangible plant power tools of care, and also the experience, the direct experience you experience with me and within this community, that you are cared for, that that your human rights are important, all these things, right? Super, super important. Big parts of Meraki Farmacy. All right, so we're in Chincla-Camus, and we are on land that has been very, very, very hurt. It has been strip mined. So big machines come in and they take all of the topsoil, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years of accumulation of biomass, of nutrient, and of all the critters and various things that process and cycle those nutrients through. And what's left is, well, on our site we have very compacted clay. We're on a slope. There's a lot of rock. The woods are doing pretty okay. They're going through their succession, but the woods are young, and the woods, a lot of it was intentionally planted. So there's never going back. Like there's never going to be any processes that we can do at this point that are going to restore the land to its before strip mining soil strata ecosystem. It's just never going to happen. It's kind of sad. And also, I'm here for it. I am 1000% here to steward and to be the thumbs that help move the things around and protect and nurture and nourish this land that gives us so much. It'll be the first full year here and the first full growing season. There's a lot already going on, and some remediation things done last year I can see are helping. It's mid-April, so, pruning some trees, feed medicine to the hemlocks, digging into the clay soil with a mattock and a shovel, flipping sod and using different cover crops such as alfalfa, different clovers, oats, peas. It's mostly, fenugreek. So using, 5 or 6 plants to plant on the ground where all that compact clay and soil is, and let the plants do their thing where they're gonna fix nitrogen, they're gonna capture carbon, they're gonna break through. I'm gonna try some daikon too. So things with like long roots. I noticed comfrey is doing a nice job in some places to break up that clay and turn the compacted clay into an ecosystem, into soil strata over the course of 3, 6, and 12 months. Be doing that in different areas. Also have a lot of raised beds because of just like the infrastructure, the existing infrastructure here. There's a lot of landscape fabric. There's a lot of rock. There's we got plants to grow, man. So using what we got, and also working directly into the soil with these natural processes, basically just mimicking nature. You can call it regenerative or sustainable or organic or whatever, but it's the indigenous way of caring for land that is not exploitative and not short-sighted and not selfish and not chemical dependent, and is just like at inherent odds with capitalism, which I'm all for commerce, but capitalism and the ways that comes into action, right, is it's exploitative by nature and definition. So combating that by mimicking nature is great. And so we'll see what happens over the course of this growing season. Super, super excited. Also growing food here. So the cool season crops are in. I'm really pumped to give my man a bunch of sunflowers around. We have a pool here. It's crazy. I never thought in my life we'd have a pool. We are, we're putting up rain catch systems so that we can irrigate, and also so we can fill our pool with rainwater. Really pumped about that. We're gonna add chickens. Who's we? So I'm Lucia. Oh, I broke my sunglasses. I'm Lucia Hawkins. You can call me Lou. I'm gonna be 40 this year. My background is I graduated from the University of Rhode Island with a degree in biological sciences. I'm a biologist, ecologist. A lot of my coursework was biological sciences, ecology, resource economics, and education. I was going to be a middle school teacher. I worked in education from when I was a teenager until still now. So like 25-ish years working in different educational settings, from the preschool to the college level. I taught at the college level more than once. That was really neat. I love bridging and connecting people to the information or the processes of discovery, of embodied discovery, being curious. Yes, the scientific method. Yes, let's fuck around and find out. And helping either remove barriers that shouldn't be, or finding the ways through, beyond, over, under, around the barriers where we are curious involved, engaged, active participants in our world, in our lives, in our communities. You see the theme here. I've worked on a bunch of different farms. I've worked in bars and restaurants. I've done a lot of different employment things, some entrepreneurship for sure, obviously. And Meraki Farmacy is, I mean, it's it. This is my life. This is the meaning and the purpose. Connecting people still to the processes and directly to plants and to the people who care for the plants and care for you. As I said, I find it to be a sacred responsibility. I think it is a culmination of my entire life, of all the bad, all the good, all of the magic, all of the fucking terror. It's also like, it's very much an extension of me, right? Like I live, eat, breathe Meraki Farmacy. It really touches on every aspect of my life. I'm working on boundarying that more. Because I'm here on this land with my family. So let me introduce you to the family. They're all napping right now, actually, which is really lovely. So you probably know Kingaroo, my dog Kingaroo Kia, the golden dog of Artemis, she's as old as Meraki Farmacy. So 7.5. She's a boxer terrier mix. Yo, if you've met Kinga's just amazing. Kinga is a solar powered love bug. She's the best. We've been together since she was a puppy. She's a hot shit. She's a classy lady. She's an incredible athlete. She's wonderful. We've done a couple cross country trips together, which has been the best. That's going to be the first book that I self-publish, is Adventures with Kinga. You can totally follow that hashtag on Instagram. It's the best. Kinga is a household name and a legend. She's the best. Love Kinga. And we live with Walter Watts, who is our, man, how do I even describe Watts? So Watts, United States Air Force, TAC-P, retired. 96 to 2020, yo. Give a shout. And they're all our dogs, aren't they? But his buddy, Whiskey James, the Wonder Cavapoo, the Cavapoo extraordinaire. He and Kinga have a great time. He's so goofy. They have so much fun. They got in a fight with the neighbor's dog. We're not going to get into it, other than you can use the boo-boo balm on short-haired dogs who have bites on their head. Just make sure you clean out any cuts, wounds, or scrape, whatever. Just clean the area before you apply boo-boo balm, because it's going to seal up your skin real quick. Because of Comfrey, the master of all healers. Comfrey and Calendula are in that balm. We make a lot of balms here. Anyway, after that fight, they really bonded even more. It's quite cute. She hasn't given him a whole lot of grief lately. I said we hope to add some chickens. So we're here on this land. We're figuring out, we're learning this land. We're very much, it's starting to dawn on us that this is our life, and we don't have to leave, and all of our stuff is in the same place for the first time in many years, and it is absolutely a dream come true. We are 1,000% aware of how fortunate we are, and also what it has taken to get here. And goals for this year and beyond, I'm doing an average of 2 community events every month from April, May, and June. I don't have anything in July, guys. And then August, September, October, I'm looking for a lot more community events. So within honestly, within a 3-hour radius of the State College area of Pennsylvania, of course, willing to travel, especially if it's to Rhode Island or Western Mass or Southeastern Vermont. I would love to travel out too. Got a lot of homies in Oregon. Actually, a couple homies in Michigan, Arizona, lots of homies in New Mexico, and a lot of homies in California. We also got Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, lots of Pennsylvania, New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island. spent like half my life in Rhode Island. It's home away from home. Connecticut, basically got the East Coast, and do we have homies in Texas? We'll go anywhere, but probably not this year, as we, really establish some things and gain more information, and of course meet the people who live and grow and work around here. Another big goal is we want to, Watts has an incredible community of veterans and folks still in service, and the Air Force and Army. No offense to Navy. My pop was in Navy, and my pop was in the Coast Guard. And before you start to like hubba-lub, there's no way to encapsulate all the philosophical ideas that we have here at this home, but we absolutely support our veterans, and we can support our veterans without agreeing with the government, right? Just like I can like support people without believing in a system, right? We can coexist within crappy crap. It feels really important to both of us that, because you might think that our communities don't have a lot in common, right? Veterans and whoever comes to Meraki Farmacy. And the truth is, and the reality is, that there's a tremendous amount of overlap, because let's look at what is shared and what the like major things of like who's coming to the pharmacy. People come to Meraki because they don't want to use things that hurt their bodies, especially when they're using it to feel better. Pain relief is a big thing. Injury, right, to muscle, tissue, sinew, bone, how to treat those things, relieve those things in ways that don't cause further harm, or that, it's not a pill that's going to hurt our stomach or interact with other things or make us feel, or just like have side effects or whatever. People want to decrease that. They want to increase, more of the holistic picture, because we are a whole person, we are a whole ecosystem. Everything you put into you and onto you is metabolized by your organs. People come to the pharmacy because they want to give themselves better options of care, and not just for them. Tons of parents, I'm telling you, a lot of parents from different backgrounds and different demographics, and it's people who have help care for young people and want to protect them from harm and don't want to use things that hurt them, right? Like, or, they want things that they trust. They know where it comes from. They know what's in it. They have a connection with me in some way or whatever through Meraki Farmacy, and they keep coming back, right? People with chronic skin conditions, people with chronic pain, people dealing with absolutely like a lot of, chronic stress. We mentioned trauma, people who are very much interested in increasing connection with plants, with the natural world, with those processes. There's a lot of like nerds, right? And like how to optimize functioning in ways, again, that are reducing risk of harm for themselves, but also for the environment. So people who, zero waste or compostable things, is important to them, as it should be, because the big corporations and all that, like, they're not going to stop making the stuff. It is on community and local makers and artisans and crafters to shift that responsibility. It's very unfortunate, but they're just not going to stop, right? So we have to take on that responsibility and find the ways to do that together. I'm very proud of that Meraki Farmacy does that. And yeah, those are important ethos. People who want to feel better, you know what I mean? People who like to drink tea, people who like to take baths, people who like to move with the bigger patterns of planets and cycles, whether, all the different ways you can describe that person. Mystics, witches, hippies, I don't know. There's also a lot of punks here too. There's a lot of overlap. And I think, like, what are the core values? It would be integrity. Instead of self-responsibility, I'm going to say sacred responsibility. And I think the difference is because self-responsibility now has this connotation of you're only doing things for you, where the sacred responsibility is, I have to do these things for me because I want to do them for you. And those things aren't necessarily mutually exclusive, but that cycle has a much more smooth, fluid cogwheel rotational feedback action in conjunction. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's who comes here. People who, and some people just buy teas. Some people, you know, they come in once or twice a year and they get their boo-boo balm and their pit stick. Like, and they've been doing that for 5 years, and that's great. There's some people who, you know, they make kits for themselves because they're pregnant, or they do it for their friends who are pregnant, which is awesome. I do choose your own adventure kits, which are, pardon me, really, really, really neat. And you can read about it on the website or ask me about. And basically it's a curated collection under a basic theme. So we have the Embalk box. So it's early spring, lymph mover things. We have your choose your own adventure with Venus Physica. So it's, it comes with a field guide, a guidebook that I write with all sorts of recipes and insights and guidance to move with some planetary transits. I think I'm going to be like shifting to offering things primarily in that way, which I think is going to be really fun for people. So I'll be working on that after I get through this last bit of first sewing and preparing for markets. What we would love to see in the next year is networking. I want to see some more consistent sales and events and monies coming in to just like support everything, all of the labors that goes into Meraki Farmacy. You know, I still am not paying myself, and I don't know if that's ever going to happen. But the first step, right, is to like have a sustaining kind of membership that keeps this going. Because that's what's most important, is that people have access to these incredibly potent, high quality, all around rad healthcare tools. We want to have people on the land. We want to do plant walks. I want to do tea times. I want to see you. I want to meet you. I want to have you here. I want you to feel it. I want you to go splash around in the creek and go fishing and go hiking and have this cool home base to come to and learn different skills and exchange different skills, right? And or to just sleep under the stars. Maybe you've never done that before. Maybe you want to do it here. Maybe we want, you know, kids who don't have these kinds of experiences and think that they're separate from nature. We want them to come here and experience it firsthand and direct their experience and their learning and their just experience. It would be a damn shame to not share all of this. Like Meraki Farmacy, I will always grow and make these things, but it'd be a damn shame if there was no one that knew about it, or the people that are looking for exactly something like this, can't find it because of bots or algorithms or some silliness, or, you know, being put in online detention for saying things that are honest and direct, which is also part of why a lot of people come to Meraki Farmacy, is because, you know, my reputation is that I'm going to be open and honest and transparent, because that's who I am. And the care and desire to care for you and protect you and help you care and protect yourself and your people is what the fuck I do. And how great is it that it's through the only thing I ever want to do, which is like help trees and plants and bugs and birds and be the thumbs that move things around. I'm very fortunate. This has, I use everything that I make. I'm not just the president, I'm a member too. When I say that this has saved my life, I am not being dramatic. So, please come through Meraki Farmacy whenever, however, whyever you feel. Again, the paths of communication, the bandwidth is on full blast. Please share with your people. I mean, word of mouth and personal recommendations is how Meraki Farmacy continues to exist. I will always take requests. There's no such thing as a stupid question. I mean, you just never know what's possible. I have some limitations on how I can offer things on the website. Like, we can just do things. It takes a little bit of effort. I do have the resistance to like a single click for everything. I don't have the time to set that up. It's not offered through my website. Like, you can just email me. We can be old school. You know, nothing is more important than what we do and what we do together. I love hearing from you. I love getting to know you. I'm honored to. I take this very seriously. And again, motivated by the big desire to decrease the suck and increase the rad, improve the quality of your life. Through your direct experience, right? Like, I'm not the guru, I'm the tool maker, right? I'm the farmer and the tool maker. I just like make this space for growing and healing, which is neat. And we need the community. So all the ways that you can support and continue to be here is fantastic. You can invite me to your events, whether it's kids, adults, I mean, like any level of prior experience. You want to go for a plant walk, whatever it is, you know, like, I'm open for it. Please let me know. Love to get together, nerd out about things, or support you in whatever you're doing. So thank you for spending time and taking some time to get to know a bit about us and what's going on. And I very much appreciate you, and I cannot wait to see you in person or in the emails real soon. Thank you so much.